Tonight on PCW, we have two mouth-watering matches where the legendary British wrestler, prolific James Mason, takes on the gatekeeper, CJ Banks. And we have one of the world's greatest tag teams, the Stronghearts, taking on our team of the PCW Cruiserweight Champion, Star Killer Dave Birch, and his #1 contender, AC Striker. Tonight on PCW. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by one of the most prolific professional wrestlers in the UK, James Mason. James, welcome to PCW. It's great to have you back here. Is it true that you've wrestled, oh no, tell us how many matches you think you've wrestled in your career?
Well, that's the big burning question. So many people have asked me, and I just wish it had been so easy for me to write down every match, every place, and I haven't. I've not made any record of it. I did it for about the first 5 years, and I got up to a few thousand. And I just stopped. There were so many wrestlers I didn't remember their names, and it was just getting a bit awkward knowing who I'd wrestled, where I'd been. So I just stopped, and I wish now if I could go back, I would have kept it down. I'd say I've had over 15,000, 16,000 of it, and that's, I'm guessing, I don't know. But there was times we were doing like an easy 1,000 matches in a year. It was crazy at some points, and I have been known to wrestle twice on a show, maybe 3 times. So you know, I pulled that into account, and I mean at the moment we're doing maybe 10, 12 matches a week at the moment, just on the holiday camp. So. Yeah, I've been really blessed with the schedule I've been lucky to have, and I've not documented it, which I wish I had, but I mean, it's up here and I know I've done them, and I'm really pleased with it.
15,000, that's very impressive. And so how old were you when you first started?
I was just 14, a few weeks after my 14th birthday. There was one short at Worthing Pier Pavilion, and Brian Dixon said to me the day before, he says, we need a wrestler tomorrow, do you think you're ready? I said, I don't think so. He says, well, there's an opportunity there, if you want to take it, I think you should. I'm in. And I did it, I did a great job, and yeah, that was 26 years ago. 26,
wow, that's prolific. I think
that's a great word.
That's the word, prolific.
I'm not embarrassed to say, but I didn't know what prolific meant until 6 months ago. And I met this guy, and he gave me that word, and that's my new favourite word.
Prolific James Mason. Thank you very much.
All the way.
James Mason, you've been a great ambassador for British wrestling for over 25 years now. You've been even a great gatekeeper for British wrestling for over 25 years now. But tonight, I'm about to prove to you and to everybody out there in the Blackpool Tower that your time is over. My time is now. I'm the gatekeeper. I'm CJ Banks.
Well, we heard the pre-bout comments of both CJ Banks and James Mason, and it's fair to say both men looking very much forward to their PCW TV debuts here in Blackpool Tower Circus tonight. That man, CJ Banks, a wily individual, some might say dastardly, certainly not looking to curry any kind of favour from the fans here in Blackpool. A man who will do whatever it takes to get the job done, even if that means bending the rules. And we will see a great contrast in the welcome received by Banks, and that for his highly respected and popular opponent. And here he is. The boy from Bermondsey, as my broadcast colleague Graham Pearce quite rightly says, one of the most prolific professional wrestlers in Britain, in Europe, in fact anywhere in the world. 26 years he's been bending bones as a professional inside the squared circle, and still a young man. Still in the prime of his life and career. Very technically sound. Deceptively quick. And inside the ring, as smooth as a knife going through butter. And CJ Banks is going to have to dig deep into his own wealth of experience. 15 years he's been a pro. And also still a young veteran. And we will see who gets the better of this encounter. The first time we've seen both CJ Banks and James Mason here on PCW TV. Your referee is Des Robinson, completing the final checks here before this match. Not hard to differentiate between the two men, with Banks there written boldly on the trunks of the gatekeeper. Bell sounds and we're underway in this one. One fall to a finish. James Mason versus CJ Banks, and something of a mouth-watering dream match amongst UK wrestling purists, I would say, this one. Collar and elbow tie-up, centre of the ring. Banks turns Mason niftily there in the corner. Referee Des Robinson will try to get a clean break, not always easy where Banks is involved, but we have one. Already tensions rising between the two men. Both men very wary of each other in the early going, but Mason there, taking Banks down, manipulating the digits there on the left hand of CJ Banks. And Banks in a lot of pain here and grounded. James Mason applying the pressure there with the wrist lock. Oh, and shooting Banks high into the air. Great strength there from James Mason, and then twisting the arm once again. And Banks is in a lot of trouble here in the early going. Already those scientific wrestling gifts of Mason serving him well. Banks, though, finds a way to reverse it. Ground Mason himself, and there you see him momentarily digging that right knee into the face, then driving it into the arm. And himself now, the gatekeeper, bending and twisting away on the fingers of James Mason. Mason has to be careful to keep those shoulders off the mat. Referee Des will be checking in for that, see if he possibly needs to counter pinfall attempt, but that's a great leg trick by Mason. You saw the nip up, very nimble. Jockeying for position here, these two men in the early going. Mason knows he's not necessarily going to squeeze a submission out of Banks with that arm bar, but he'll certainly get inside his head. Now what Mason will be looking to do is to try and get CJ Banks to lose his temper, make mistakes. Mason very much the man to capitalise on any error by his opponent with his great depth of knowledge. He's seen it all, he's done it all as James Mason, and he is dominating here in the early going. In fact, Banks is already taking a break. And Des Robinson picks up the count. This could just be an attempt by Banks to try and break the rhythm of James Mason. You've got to be careful, though. He doesn't want to referee Des to reach the count of 10, otherwise Mason will win this one. Listen to this crowd. First time they may have seen James Mason here on PCW TV. But already taking him to their hearts. Very knowledgeable crowd as well. They will know all about Mason's credentials. Count reaches 6. Banks has got to be really careful here. Breaks the count, though, back into the ring. And perhaps a smart move from the gatekeeper, because he's gained a little bit of a breather there. Oh, look at him, though, getting right in the face of James Mason. Just to explain a little bit about the gatekeeper philosophy. Oh, big shove, though, from Mason. Just a second. Side headlock. Big shoulder block. Both men moving at real speed here, a real rate of knots, and that's a lovely hip toss reversal from the Londoner. series of clotheslines. Double thrust to the chest, perhaps Banks complaining maybe that Mason caught him in the throat right there. And once again, CJ out there with the fans who are getting right on his case. As I was saying, just to explain the gatekeeper philosophy, CJ Banks believes there are a lot of young wrestlers get into the business these days and they need to pay their dues. And Banks believes that he's the man to break them in the hard way. Well, James Mason does not resemble that remark. James Mason, he's definitely paid his dues. Perhaps a little bit of envy, though, from CJ Banks. Perhaps he sees this as his opportunity to take the torch from James Mason as the gatekeeper of British wrestling. We shall see. Banks gingerly approaching Mason once again now and taking his time. As I said, it seems to be all a deliberate attempt by Banks to break the rhythm of Mason, who has been bang on form early on. Look for that gaping opportunity, and he got it with that kick to the gut. And now Banks returning fire on the crowd who mocked him. Sends Mason for the ride, hard into the opposite corner. Big uppercut from Banks. He himself extremely technically sound when he wants to be. Executes every blow with precision, but not enough to keep Mason grounded for the 3 count. Got to be careful here, James. Banks trying everything he can to keep those shoulders down. But not enough. Oh, and there he goes back after that hand. We saw both men attacking each other's hands in the early going of the match, and Banks continuing the assault there. Perhaps the gatekeeper, though, caring a little bit too much about what the crowd think of him. Nice nip up by Mason. Once again goes back to the wrist lock into the knee lift. Oh, the impact of that could be heard right down the Golden Mile here at Blackpool. Mason with a big right hand. Des Robinson got to be careful about those closed fists. Banks, though, continuing to find ways to cut Mason off and stop him from gaining too much momentum. Snapmare takedown. Delivers another well-executed elbow, but not enough to knock the wind out of Mason, keep him down for the 3. So Banks goes to the reverse chin lock. Mason struggling to regain his footing, but that's a nice counter into the fireman's carry. Wondering what to do with Banks here, or perhaps looking for a little bit of support from the crowd. Oh, and Banks going to the eyes, and that's right in front of the referee. The referee immediately in there with the 5 count, a strong warning to Banks. You cannot do that. Extremely dangerous to go after the man's eyes like that. CJ does not care. Banks now rolling down the knee pad. Oh, and he was trying to just gain a little bit of extra velocity on that knee drop, but Mason saw it coming. And he saw him coming again. Clothesline. Lovely timing on that. Irish whip to the far side. Monkey flip from James Mason. Oh, that sent Banks halfway across the ring. Sent him all the way to the opposite side. Rolling senton. Robinson in position for the 3 count, but it's only a 2. The youngsters in the crowd getting very excited right now as they sense that James Mason could be on the verge of defeating the hated gatekeeper. Another Irish whip from Mason. I think he went for the monkey flip again. Nice leg trip from Banks. His feet are on the ropes. Well, I can't believe that. The referee was down counting the shoulders. He did not see CJ Banks' feet on the ropes, and Banks has outsmarted James Mason, breaking the rules in the process. But that is a 3 count. The referee's decision is final. He did not see it. And look at the smug look on the face of the gatekeeper. He's won this PCW TV clash between two of the modern day greats, and James Mason is disgusted. He's trying to complain to Des. But the results in the books, chalk one up for the gatekeeper, CJ Banks. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of James Mason in the future. My apologies for this interruption to PCW TV, but this is PCW matchmaker Greg Lambert with a special announcement. The following match was scheduled to be Philip Michael versus Big Time Bruce Wheeler. However, after Philip turned on the buyout in the cage match just a few weeks ago on PCW TV, as a result of the stipulation, Philip Michael, by turning on the buyout, it's cost him his PCW career. It is with regret that I must announce that Philip Michael's PCW contract has been terminated. I've had to find a suitable replacement for the upcoming match. Let's find out who it is. Let's go back to ringside.
Are you having a laugh? Something smells fishy here. I think you've got some explaining to do, Lambert.
Well, this is Kashiro making his PCW debut. What can we tell you about Kashiro? Well, he has a Mexican mother, and his father is from Accrington in Lancashire. His favourite food is black pudding with a sprinkle of chilli. And his favourite drink is a cup of Lancashire tea with a splash of tequila.
Right.
Trained in the Snake Pit, the famous Snake Pit gym in Wigan in Lancashire, and also in Mexico. And as such, he fused the styles of Lancashire catch-as-catch-can wrestling with lucha libre Mexican high-flying to create a unique style called Lanka Libre.
Right. That's all very interesting, Greg. I think that's Philip Michael under a mask.
What?
That's clearly Philip Michael under a mask.
Philip Michael,
of course it is.
Unfortunately, Philip Michael's contract with PCW has been terminated as a result of him turning on the buyout. That was the legal stipulation. The Sheikh has put us under a lot of pressure to enforce that stipulation.
Yeah!
Philip Michael is no more in PCW. This is Lancashire.
No, it's not Lancashire, it's Philip Michael. Absolutely.
Listen to the crowd. The crowd's chanting Lancashire.
Oh, and look, the Yorkshire hat.
That's a Lancashire flat cap.
It's a Yorkshireman's flat cap, clearly. Yep, Bruce Wheeler's not fallen for it either. We're not stupid, Lambert.
Well, I'm sorry, both yourself and Bruce Wheeler are mistaken. That is the Lancashire luchador, Lancashire.
So explain this to us again. His dad is from Lancashire, but his mother is Mexican.
That's right.
Right, so
that's right. He met her on holiday.
Does his dad, is he quite fond of that pie? Yeah?
Listen, you can scoff all you like, but I tell you what, Lancashire's life story is a lot more plausible than Bruce Wheeler's, let me tell you. The rock and roll time traveller.
Just because he's done a lot in his extended years does not mean that it's not true.
Look at this is Lanka Libre. Oh, look at that! Told you this guy was good. Bruce Wheeler now escaping into the crowd. And the referee beginning his count. Really thrown off his game by this very impressive debut from Lancashire. Got to be difficult for Wheeler because he had prepared for Philip Michael. What's the matter with you? Are you sulking? Well, cat got your tongue now, has it? Whatever. Well, you might not want to continue your commentary here on Kashiro versus Bruce Wheeler, but I will. I think my broadcast partner's on strike. Big exchange of blows now in the centre of the ring. Nice leg trip from Kashiro. Once again, we're seeing that hybrid style to great effect. And Wheeler can't cope with it at the moment. Oh! Wheeler seen that move. In rings all the way from Mexico City to Bacup. Now we see Kashiro hooking the head, hooking the leg of Bruce Wheeler into the fisherman's suplex. And our best wishes do indeed go out to Philip Michael, seeing as I'm my broadcast partner before he became a mute. Did actually mention him. You know, we're extremely regretful over the fact that Philip Michael's PCW career had to end, but you know, he did the right thing. He stood up, he was a man's man. And all the very best to Philip Michael in his future endeavours, as they say. Meanwhile, the fight has spilled outside the ring here. Wheeler trying to take it to the streets of Manchester. Where he is most comfortable. And Kashiro, for the first time in this match, on the defensive. The Genie of professional wrestling with a reverse knife-edge chop didn't have a lot of meat on it. But that right hand certainly did. And Wheeler with a snap suplex. Floats over. James Clayton, the referee, makes the count. And now what's Wheeler doing? He's trying to take the mask off. I think he's trying to rip that mask off like Kashiro. And that is an extreme insult to a luchador, having the mask removed, whether you're from Lancashire or not. Sharp elbow there. But Wheeler continuing to keep Kashiro on the defensive here. Now climbing to the top rope, Wheeler. He's very comfortable up there, I have to say. Big time Bruce. Nice crossbody, hooks the leg. This could be a big upset. That could have been a disastrous debut for Kashiro. Wheeler going for the body slam on the masked newcomer. But a sharp elbow. Are you going to speak or what? Goodness me. Well, this is a rarity, I have to say, folks. Stallion lost for words. Oh, beautiful back cracker by the master of Lanka Libre. Is that going to be a 3? No, it's not. You can hear the crowd really taking Kashiro to their hearts in this is PCW TV debut. Wheeler really struggling to get back to his feet. But there's a spine buster. Oh, he delivered that one well. Not so sure about the cover though. Kashiro gets his shoulder up. Yeah, that was a lackadaisical cover there by the man from Suffragette City. Wheeler believes he's got Kashiro where he wants him. He's been very befuddled by the hybrid style of the debutante. And indeed, he's missed that leg drop. Like Kashiro, beautiful scissor on the arm. Look at this, he's got both arms. And that is the Lanx lock. The Lanx lock, hooked in tight. And Wheeler taps out. Kashiro wins on his debut. And Stallion is so impressed. He's been silenced. It takes Kashiro to finally shut up Stallion. Wheeler clutching his best friend in the world, that bottle of Jack. Oh, hang on just a minute. Oh no, I think we're going to get our very own welcoming committee for Kashiro, and a most unwelcome one at that. Indeed it is, it's Sheikh El-Sham. Just off elbow surgery, and wait a second, he is flanked by Tel Bannum and that scumbag Mark Alexander Price, who's clearly with the buyout now. I don't care what anybody says, I think he's been with the buyout from the very beginning. Disgraced former referee of PCW, Mark Alexander Price. And what do the buyout want with Kashiro? This is 3 against 1 right here. Oh, wait, this is no way to treat somebody who's just won his debut PCW match. Bannum and Price beating down the Lancashire luchador. We gotta get some help out here. The Sheikh directing traffic, because he's only got one arm. Sheikh's got to be in a bad mood. This is the first time we've seen him since he suffered that injury. They regained the PCW tag team titles on PCW TV, did the buyout, but the Sheikh suffered an injury in that match, and then Tel Bannum basically took his title shot. And Bannum's not going to be in a very good mood because he failed in that 4-way match last week, as indeed did Big T Justice. Joey Hayes is still the PCW champion. And look at this, they're going to try and take the mask off. We're going to find out what Kashiro's face looks like. This is terrible, you can't do this to a luchador. Oh, wait a second! It's the other man who was in that fatal 4-way last week. A man who has no love for the buyout whatsoever. The alpha male, Yestin Reese. And he's getting some of Tel Bannum. Price has bailed. Sheikh has bailed. Kashiro's down in the corner. And the alpha male is gunning for the erstwhile champ. They've just left Bannum all on his own at the buyout. That's a little bit of tough love from the Sheikh. We know they've had problems. Oh, no, Big T! They kept Big T in reserve. Big T with a huge kick to Yestin Reese. Yestin on wobbly legs. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on just a second. I know that music. It's Shaw Samuels! The East End Butcher is here on PCW TV! And he's coming for the buyout! Big T's rocking! Big T's rolling! Big T's in a right 2 and 8! At the hands of the man born within the sound of the Bow Bells! Oh, his head might be ringing though if Big T gets his way. But it's only Big T who's in trouble. And he's wobbling. He rocks him with a clothesline. Shaw Samuels with a second one. Shaw Samuels has come to the rescue of Yestin Reese and Kashiro and PCW. And not a moment too soon. And he knocks the 7-footer out of the ring. And the Sheikh's plan to unmask Kashiro is in tatters. Thanks to the East End Butcher. And look at him. Look at the intensity. Shaw Samuels is here in PCW. And the buyout's plans may never be the same. The Sheikh can't believe it, Tel Banham can't believe it, Mark Alexander Price and Big T Justice can't believe it. Shah Samuels, Yestin Rees and like Kashiro are standing tall. It's Shah life. And the buyout just lives in it. And as matchmaker, that gives me a great idea for a match for next week on PCW TV. How about we have ourselves a six-man tag? The buyout against like Kashiro, Yestin Rees and Shah Samuels. Let's do it next week on PCW TV. It's gonna happen. Let's go to Graham Pearce.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by big-time Bruce Wheeler. Bruce, unfortunately, you just lost to our new PCW signing, Lancashire. What are your thoughts at this time?
The name's Big Time Bruce Wheeler, international rock star playboy, and I've sold out arenas all over the world. Multi-platinum, multi-gold selling discs. There's not a thing in the music industry that Big Time hasn't done. Let me cast your mind back to London, the 1980s. Big Time was the cat among the pigeons. Big Time was cock of the north. I partied with the stars of the day. Princess Diana, she was a big fan. Some things I should say about her that I shouldn't, especially not on camera. When I was wandering down a back street, there was this young wannabe musician working in a kebab shop. And I said, "Hey kid, you've got talent. How's about rubbing shoulders with Big Time and then you could be the biggest star, well, the second biggest star in all of London." So we worked together. I wrote him some classic songs. Many years passed. I never heard a thing from that guy, not even a careless whisper. And tonight, some charlatan, Lancashire, whatever your name, we all know that this is that guy I met in that kebab shop all those years ago, George Michael. So if you're ever going to play a trick like this, steal my songs, take the royalty. Next time I come across you, there'll be a wow! And I promise you something. You'll never dance again, because your guilty feet have got no rhythm.
It's the East End Butcher, Shah Samuels, and you know what? I'm back in PCW. You know why I'm back? Because I don't like the buyout and Sheik! Ugh! I'm coming for ya. East!
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been joined by PCW's new superstar, Lancashire's #1 Mexican wrestler, Lancashire.
Uno.
#1, yes.
Uno.
Welcome to PCW. How are you feeling after your first victory here in PCW?
I'm bloody warm.
It's very warm out there, isn't it?
Warm.
So, is this warmer than Mexico?
Oui.
Oui? You mean sea?
See?
Right,
See?
so I'm interested. How do you become a Mexican wrestler if you're from Lancashire? Or how do you become a Lancashire wrestler if you're from Mexico? I'm trying to understand your parentage.
My mum, from Accrington,
Oh, yes, Accrington, yes.
Lancashire.
Yeah, yes.
Dad,
Yeah.
Mexico.
Ah, right, okay. And, okay, yeah, don't need to go any more into that. So, yes, well, thank you for joining me, and good luck with the rest of your career here in PCW.
Cheers. I did that one.
And now then, ladies and gentlemen, he is the TVE Cruiserweight Champion, Popular
Greg Lambert here with Stallion, live at Blackpool Tower Circus, and we are joined by the PCW Cruiserweight Champion, the Star Killer Dave Birch. He's been a fighting Cruiserweight Champion, Stallion.
Well, you know what, I'm not the biggest fan of Dave Birch. I think he's been incredibly fortunate. But I'll tell you what, I will give him this. He has put that championship up every single time, and he has not shirked from defending that strap.
Absolutely. Not tonight, though. Tonight, this is a little bit of a different challenge for our PCW Cruiserweight Champion, but one that he and his tag team partner wanted to prove that they were equal to. And this is going to be a real treat for you all on PCW TV. I guarantee it, as matchmaker of PCW.
A treat indeed, but also very intriguing.
And here comes Dave Birch's partner. And you heard the announcement there from our ring announcer, our hostess with the mostest, DJ Connie Von D. AC Striker defeated Tel Bannum on PCW TV to become the #1 contender to Dave Birch's Cruiserweight Championship. Tonight they team up.
Yes, that's why I said intriguing earlier on, because these two gentlemen, oh, there's a ridiculous little handshake there. But these two, as far as I'm aware, will soon be going at it for that Cruiserweight Championship, as long as, of course, Dave Birch is still champion by the time that opportunity rolls around. And tonight, teaming up. Odd.
But look at who their opponents are going to be. This is a real test for these two young homegrown PCW athletes. Wait till you see who's coming through the curtain. Two of the best anywhere in the world. Absolutely, from the new Chinese wrestling promotion, OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, based in Shanghai, and formed by Dragon Gate legend Shima. And these two men, T-Hawk and L. Lindemann, teamed with Shima on the pioneering, groundbreaking debut pay-per-view of All Elite Wrestling earlier this year. They are dynamic, they are talented, they have that martial arts background, and they are hard-hitting. And they are here to make a name for themselves. This is a really tough test, as I said before, for Dave Birch and AC Striker.
Well, it is, never mind their opponents, it's a tough test to see if they can actually cohabit, as it were, as a team, coexisting as a unit, considering they are going to be rivals. Well, they are rivals.
We saw that Dave Birch saying, almost taking the lead, maybe trying to be captain of the team, saying I'm going to start things off. AC Striker quite happy with that.
Why am I getting booed?
Well, he obviously doesn't. Obviously, L. Lindemann is taking a dislike to you immediately.
I'll ring your bell in a minute, sunshine. This is L. Lindemann, right? Imagine not being from Mexico and calling yourself L something. It's just ridiculous.
Well, L. Lindemann, 24 years of old, but from Tokyo, came out of the Dragon Gate Dojo, also a former Open the Triangle Gate champion, alongside Shingo Takagai, one of Japan's very best, and Takashi Yoshida. Very powerful legs, very strong at suplexes, clamping on a side headlock here against Dave Birch.
This guy is ridiculously strong, yeah. There's no way Dave Birch is going to win like that.
Allowing Dave Birch head first into the turnbuckle. Irish whip from L. Lindemann. There's the speed of Dave Birch, the star killer. On a roll, on real wave of momentum here in PCW. Going for that springboard forearm, that's one of his patented moves. Ducks the clothesline. Oh, L. Lindemann catches him, precise drop kick.
Shotgun drop kick takes Dave Birch down, and he looks in shock. Is he going to tag? He is. He's tagging in AC Striker. Oh, and T-Hawk coming in.
T-Hawk comes straight in from Hokkaido, Japan. The more experienced of the two at 29 years of age. Wrestled extensively in Japan and Mexico. And a former 5-time Open the Triangle Gate and 6-time Open the Twin Gate champion in Dragon Gate. That is their tag team and their 6-man tag
So
team.
essentially, he's just a doorman. It just opens the gates for folks.
Well, that's what they call their champions.
Right.
A lot of respect involved in Japan.
Do you have to tip them?
Dave Birch and AC Striker will have to earn that respect against these two very talented individuals. Big drop kick from AC Striker sends T-Hawk to the outside, caught him right on the side of the head.
Basement drop kick and oh!
And look at that! AC Striker over the top takes T-Hawk out. This guy has got something to prove. He beat Tel Bannon. A lot of people think it was a big upset. He's challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship in his young career.
And not only that, think about this, right? He is, whereas Dave Birch struggled a little bit, AC Striker is really taking the fight to T-Hawk. And that's got to rankle Birch just a little bit.
Well, you know, when the Strong Hearts were announced as coming to PCW, these two guys were the first to put their names on the contract, and I did kind of wonder to myself, you know, is there a little bit of wanting to scout each other going on here by agreeing to team?
That would make a lot of sense. T-Hawk, the Power Master, if you will.
Indeed, T-Hawk has got an extremely hard reverse knife edge chop. We saw it right there on the PCW Cruiserweight Champion. Meanwhile, El Lindemann is dominating AC Striker. Right here in front of our commentary desk, he's got his foot pressed into the under the rib cage, right into the rib cage of AC Striker. Real aggression being shown by the Strong Hearts here in their PCW debut.
Very much so. Look at Birch and Striker, who are just laid out on the floor here. T-Hawk just stomping away the Zhang Fei, if you will, of the Strong Hearts.
T-Hawk now with a big double axe handle blow. El Lindemann now pressing that magnificently developed leg into the head of Dave Birch, and look at this, El Lindemann seems to be playing fast and loose with the rules here.
Well, we all know that you have a 5 count, he's certainly keeping in line with that. Oh, didn't even shake it.
Absolutely, Dave Birch needs to really, that's better. Big shot, the third one had plenty of juice on it from Dave Birch. The first two didn't quite rock out Lindemann. Lindemann knocks Striker off the ring apron. Irish whip by Birch. Birch gets caught him in there. Beautiful sit-out powerbomb. Lindemann is the legal man. He goes to the pin. As Robinson makes the count, and Dave Birch kicks out.
Noticing as well that these guys are taking their time getting out. They may be used to other promotions where I believe that they're used to a 10 count before the partner has to leave the ring, whereas here, of course, it's the regular 5-second rule.
Well, OWE, one of the newest and most exciting promotions, coming over to the UK actually next month. A full promotion, I'm sure we'll see T-Hawk and El Lindemann involved in that. Has a unique Kung Fu-based style, very unique to professional wrestling. Well, that wasn't unique, El Lindemann telling the referee to shut up.
And I, for one, completely endorse that message.
Dave Birch ducks underneath, look at this. El Lindemann with a reversal, goes for the roll-up. Dave Birch rolls through, goes for the kick. Oh, he hit him, second time of asking. Right across the side of the head. I don't think El Lindemann expected that. And Birch and Striker are hanging in there, more than hanging in there with the Strong Hearts. Birch has got to trust his partner now.
He does, and he's going to try and make that tag. He's a little bit, oh, he's got it, he's made it.
AC Striker once again, going for the strike. El Lindemann though in from behind. Sharp elbows from AC. Oh, an even sharper one from Lindemann. Oh, Lindemann knocking AC Striker silly with that forearm. Oh, great shot though from Striker. This is toe-to-toe now between the #1 contender and the PCW Cruiserweight Champion and this fire plug from Japan. Look at that. Oh, he dropped him. 1, 2. No, no. El Lindemann kicked out.
So close.
I don't think I've ever seen AC Striker use that move before. Pulling out all the stops to try and take down the Strong Hearts. Look at this springboard. Oh, beautiful double team continuity by Birch and Striker. 1, 2, no! Well, Lindemann kicks out again. At 2 3/4, this guy is double tough.
T-Hawk almost playing cheerleader on the outside at the moment. Perhaps just trying to work out some strategy from that position.
Dave Birch, I wonder if he's trying to hook in for that killer instinct which has brought him so much success here as Cruiserweight champion. He's already made 3 successful defences of that title. And looking good here tonight as well. Wait a second, T-Hawk is in. Oh, big knee, right hand, huge chop. How is Birch on his feet? Oh, look at that. Oh, there's the German suplex from Lindemann. 1, 2. Oh, and Dave Birch kicked out. You saw T-Hawk was blocking AC Striker from making the save, but the champ kicked out anyway.
And you've got to admire the continuity. It's what you would expect from the Stronghearts. Dave Birch, though, certainly trying to get back into this.
Dave Birch double kicks the face. The tag's made by AC Striker. Look at T-Hawk though. Oh, another. I mean, AC Striker's chest is starting to turn purple from those chops from T-Hawk. But look at that double drop kick. The kid has got guts.
He certainly has, since he's more or less doing a 2-on-1 right now.
Ripcord knee! Ripcord knee on Lindemann. Oh, look at that! Turned him inside out. 2, 3. AC Striker wins it. What a match! And what a performance from 2 of PCW's finest young guns! They took everything the Stronghearts had to give them, and they scored what has to be classed as an upset, Stallion.
I would absolutely agree with that. It's completely an upset. You would expect the Stronghearts to have that continuity, which they showed on so many occasions. But I'll tell you what, the heart and desire of Birch and Striker really came through, and what a moment! What a moment for these young lads!
Well, it was a hell of a performance from the Stronghearts. Those chops have absolutely left a mark on AC Striker's chest. An incredible display by the Stronghearts. But Birch and Striker can be proud of themselves. And you see right here, I think Striker is telling Birch, next time, it's me and you one-on-one for that Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, if they're scouting each other, I reckon that Birch will have worked out that Striker will be no easy challenge.
Striker be the star killer for the PCW Cruiserweight title, coming soon to PCW TV.